Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my wrap up for the second half of July. I had a lot of reading events going on that I am looking forward to talking about. And I'm going to start with some reading stats for my overall month. Total in July, I read 9 books, which was 2,302 pages of reading plus 25 hours of audio. In the second half of the month, I read 4 books, and the first book that I finished in the second half of July was Into the Riftwalker series, book 2 by Clay Harmon. This is a fantasy series. I read this as an arc, and this is one of my favorite series ongoing right now, and it has a really interesting, cool magic system and world building, and this one had some really cool creatures and a whole lot of action. I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4.25 stars. The second book I finished, that book counts for the Big Book Summer Challenge hosted by Sue Jackson, which is to read books over 400 pages during the summer. And they have one more book in this second half wrap up that counts for Big Book Summer, and that one is Dead Sea by Tim Curran. And this is a horror novel. It is cosmic. It is survival horror. And it is really scary. It's pretty epic, and it would have been like a new favorite book. It would have been 5 stars, book of the month. However, this book follows a crew of sailors on a ship, and they get caught in this weird fog that is unlike anything they've ever seen, and things, once they get in the fog, are not how they should be on Earth. It was really cool. It took place in the Sargasso Sea, which is a real place where there's not a lot of wind, or what's it called? And the water is stagnant, doesn't move very much, and is full of seaweed that's so thick that boats can get stuck in. The monsters in here, there are so many varied, weird creatures, monsters, sea monsters, flying monsters, all kinds of stuff. This book is crazy, and I like it. However, the one thing that made it not a favorite is that these sailors are like really crass, and it's like, what's it called, locker room talk or something. And there's one particular razzing each other and making fun of each other, and it seems like it's all in fun, even though it's really kind of annoying because it's really awful stuff, like homophobic and sexist and racist comments, slurs. Not good. There's one character in particular, when stuff goes south, everybody else is like working together, trying to figure things out, and they get rid of all that unneeded locker room talk, and they're actually trying to survive. But this one guy, that's like actually how he is. He's very homophobic, he's very sexist, he's very racist, and he just doubles down on that stuff, and it gets like aggressive, and it gets like mean spirited, and it gets real nasty. And I did not like that character at all. And all that stuff is like, it's a lot. It goes on a lot in here, and it's just really uncomfortable. So, just so you know, this book is super epic as far as the horror and the plot. However, if those things are things you don't want to read, steer clear. Dead Sea is for the Big Book Summer. It is also for counts for Giallo July because it has a violent word in the title, dead. I'm counting as a violent word. And next, I wasn't planning on this, but I read Emma by Jane Austen because I completely forgot about Jane Austen July. And I have 2 more Jane Austen books to read. Well, now only 1 left. Emma was really good. She like always makes these assumptions and they're always wrong, seems like. And let's see, what would I call this? It's kind of grumpy sunshine romance. Emma is the one that Clueless remade. So I really liked it. It is kind of grumpy sunshine, like she's all happy-go-lucky. Thinks she's never gonna get married, but she tries to set everyone else up, but on as couples, and then it doesn't go right, and yeah. Anyway, Emma's cool. Read this for Jane Austen July. Jane Austen July is hosted by Books and Things, Blatantly Bookish, and Spencer's Library. I gave Emma 4 stars. I think I've given all of Jane Austen's books 4 stars. They're really good, but they're not like my favorites. There's some classics that I like more than Jane Austen, but they're always a good time. I also wanted to make sure I read Emma because it counts towards my 40 before 40 goal. I'm trying to get. I still need to read Mansfield Park, and then I will have read this entire book. That'll be quite a feat. And the last book that I finished in the month of July was In the Watchful City. Shoot, I looked up the name. Oh, I forgot to look it up one more time before filming. What's wrong with me? Okay. I think I'm at least gonna get closer, I think. In the Watchful City by S. Chiu Liu. And that's probably wrong. I think it was more like Chiu Liu. But my memory's really bad, especially with names, so embarrassing. In the Watchful City was a science fiction fantasy novella. This person named Anima who works protecting a city's citizens, and they can go into like a machine that puts their consciousness into the world so they can observe and see what's going on, and they can go into like any animal's body and take over that animal and go wherever they need to go. And then a mysterious outsider comes and gets Anima to learn more about the world outside of this city when they've been pretty much connected to just this city for a very long time. And telling them stories of other people that they've come across. And I did really like the ideas in this with the being able to upload your consciousness like at any given time into a creature on the world and see the world through their eyes. It was really interesting. The stories, some of them got very, very hard-hitting, tough topics. I liked the main idea of this story, but all of the little stories put in made it feel kind of disjointed and kind of lost focus, I think. I do see, it feels like it could have been made into 4 different books instead of just one. But I do see what they were going for in this story. And I gave this one 3.5 stars. It counts for Giallo July. Oh, I don't think I said. Giallo July, hosted by The Bookubus, Slime and Slashers, and Pest Storytime. This one counts for yellow on the cover as well. And I also read this for the Super Size, Super Small Summer Reading Challenge, hosted by the Paper Traveler, Livriamer, the GKBC, Nerdy Kathy, and myself. That challenge to read books over 700 pages and books under 200 pages. This was one for the under 200 category. Those are the 4 books I read in the second half of July. I also watched 2 more Giallo movies in the second half of July. In the first half, I watched Blood and Black Lace for the violent word in the title, blood. I watched The Bird with the Crystal Plumage for an animal in the title. And in the second half, I watched The Black Belly of the Tarantula, which is from 1971. I gave it 3 stars. It seemed like a pretty straightforward murder mystery type thing with a serial killer that use an injection to paralyze their victims so they can't move, but they're very aware of what's happening. And then the killer killed them. So that alone is pretty creepy. But it was pretty straightforward movie with a detective investigation and reveal. And that's why it's 3 stars. But I found a big winner for Giallo movies for me, and that was Deep Red from 1975, directed by Dario Argento, which I gave 4.5 stars. Almost perfect. Again, there is a killer. There's a mystery. But this one had really creepy elements that made it stand out above the rest, I think. Deep Red, I watched this one for the color in the title. There's some creepy dolls. So creepy. This is a very effective, making it towards the horror side. Some of the doll scenes are just incredible. Also, the end just goes off the rails and it is wild, and I loved it. Oh, Deep Red, you hold a special place in my heart now. That's everything I read and watched second half of July. I would love to know what your favorite Giallo movie is if you watch that sort of thing. I'd love to know if you've read any of these books, what did you think of them? And I'll be back very soon with another book related video. Thanks. Bye.